should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control? By Epictetus. Epictetus is a Greek Stoic philosopher born in 50 AD, and even though this is 20,000-year-old wisdom, it still rings true to an extremely large degree. So we're going to talk about control, which is very exciting. I'm really excited to talk to you about control. When it comes to control, there are really three different aspects that we can focus on. So we probably spend most of our time thinking about this first question and the least amount of time thinking about the last one. We're very often focused on the negative. Where are we lacking control? I got cut off in traffic. I got fired from my job. Somebody said something to me and that hurt my feelings. I wanted to make a strawberry smoothie, but the strawberries weren't on sale. I'm a little bit tight this week. So I'm lacking control in a lot of parts of my life. But more importantly are the other two questions, which are when can we regain control and when is it necessary to relinquish it? So understanding where you have control is really key to understanding where you can affect change in your life. And we're still trying to talk about how we can take action. Now, change is easier than you think because you can control what and where and how you do it. Like we're talking about lifestyle management, right? You can also control the pace of change. Slow and steady, usually a good approach and one that I take very seriously. Last year, I spent 4 months training to plank for 10 minutes, and I never spent more than 10 minutes on any given day working towards that. And I did achieve that goal. So you don't necessarily need to dedicate your entire life to achieving something every minute of every day, but you can strategically focus your energy and regain control where you can. Now, the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to long-term lifestyle change. I'm not here to give you necessarily as many answers as many questions where you can begin to ask those to yourself. Because I think you actually probably have more answers about what works for you than I do. Lots of people out there swear by their method. Whether you're waking up at 4 a.m., taking a cold shower, going for a run, taking a warm shower, reading for 2 hours, going to work after that. I mean, that's not a viable schedule for me or probably for most of you out there. So it's useless to try and implement it because somebody else was successful with that approach. Remember, your success is not my success. Okay, what I'd like to do now is introduce you to Newton's 3 laws of motion. So pulling out from my physics experience. And we're going to put a bit of a modern self-help twist on these for the purposes of answering the 3 questions in front of us right now on control. So where are we lacking control? Where can we regain control? And when is it necessary to relinquish it? Gives me the shivers every time I read that. Okay, Newton's laws. Newton's first law of motion states that an object at rest will stay at rest until a force acts upon it. Word for word, this is Newton's law. I think Newton lived in like the 1600s. So again, this is old stuff that we're reappropriating here. For those of you who have a bit of physics background, you might recognize that I did change this up a little bit. He does also talk about constant velocity. So an object that is at a constant velocity will stay at rest or will stay at a constant velocity until a force acts upon it. What does this mean? This means that whether you are stagnant or whether you're on a consistent path, an unchanging path in a rut, you can wait for an external force to act upon you, or you can be that force. If there's even a single aspect of yourself that you'd like to change, the only way to make lasting difference is for you to be the catalyst for that change. Can't tell you how many times I've tried to get my family members to lose weight or to change the way that they do things, and it never works. It never works. So focus your energy on you because you are the one who's going to change you. So where are you lacking control? Is it in your work? Is it in your relationships, in your body, in your mind? Maybe you're missing that fundamental force. Newton's second law of motion. And I've modified this just a little bit. Newton's second law of motion, this is not on the slide, is F equals ma, which basically just says that force is related to mass and acceleration. But this is not a physics lesson. So I've modified it slightly, building on this idea of force to talk about energy, which is force times distance. So the energy is equal to momentum, which relates to mass, you, the physical being that is you, multiplied by distance divided by time. I don't want to overwhelm you with the mathematics here, but we're looking at just the relationships here. So the energy that you put in to achieving success will be related to a few things. Number one, the momentum that you develop on your journey, and also how far you go. This is the momentum in the distance. It's also inversely proportional to how long it's going to take you to get there. That's the time component. In other words, the more energy you put in, the farther you're going to go, the smoother the ride, and the faster you'll get there. This is building off of a fundamental principle of our universe, discovered and succinctly put by Isaac Newton 400 years ago. So where can you regain control? Well, you can increase your energy input. Are you really giving 100% of the energy you have in a given day towards planking for 10 minutes, or towards getting a raise at your job, or finding a meaningful relationship, or making that cash? Putting in 100% effort or increasing your energy input could mean working harder. It could mean working smarter. Thinking your way through a problem can sometimes be just as energy intensive as physically pushing your way through it. I usually opt for the thinking part because, as you can see, I'm pretty lanky. So I don't really have the physical fortitude to do these things, but mentally, I do. Newton's third law. You might remember this one. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You'll notice here action and reaction are italicized, not only because I like typefaces, but also because they are another dichotomy. I'm just going to put it plainly. Human beings, way too reactive. Way too reactive. We need to put more emphasis on action, which again is the theme that keeps coming over and over and over again today. Action is really how we regain control. But we also need to appreciate that we can't control what other people do or say. So it's in the actions and words of others that we must relinquish control. It's in our best interest to do so. And it also relates back to managing expectations. You're going to meet a lot of people in this life. You've met a lot of people already. They're going to do things and have done things that don't align with what your goals are. And that is okay, because not everything is in your control. But when you learn to take action as opposed to constantly and just reacting at this base level, that's where you regain control. It's by relinquishing that you can regain. Okay, I wish I could see your faces so I knew how you're reacting right now. Now that we've spoken about the importance of force and energy, we want to figure out how to channel that energy.